In a move that stunned the world, President Donald Trump has reversed his position and now fully supports Ukraine's fight against Russian aggression. This marks a significant departure from his previous stance, where he often emphasized the need for negotiations and compromises. Trump's announcement on Truth Social declared Ukraine could win back all its territory with enough allied support, a dramatic shift from his earlier calls for peace through territorial concessions. His post quickly went viral, garnering reactions from political analysts, world leaders, and the general public. This bold endorsement sent shockwaves through diplomatic circles, especially after months of uncertainty about America's commitment to Kyiv. Diplomats and international representatives were seen scrambling to reassess their strategies in light of this unexpected development. Trump's new message projects confidence in Ukraine's victory, signaling a renewed U.S. commitment to provide the resources needed to reclaim its land. This includes increased military aid, financial support, and strategic assistance to ensure Ukraine can stand firm against Russian advances. For a president known for his America First approach, this pivot has reshaped the global conversation about the war. Critics and supporters alike are debating the implications of this shift, wondering how it will affect international relations and the balance of power in the region. The timing was no accident. Trump made his stance clear as world leaders gathered at the United Nations, ensuring maximum global attention. By choosing this moment, he aimed to send a strong message to both allies and adversaries about the U.S. renewed role on the world stage. It was a deliberate signal to Ukraine, Russia, and NATO allies. Trump's administration is now fully backing Ukraine's efforts to reclaim its sovereignty. This move is expected to have far-reaching consequences for international diplomacy and military strategies. The U.S. now champions a complete Ukrainian victory. This newfound support is likely to embolden Ukraine and its allies, while putting additional pressure on Russia to reconsider its actions. The world is left to absorb this new reality. America's leader is now publicly backing Ukraine's fight for full sovereignty. As global reactions pour in, the international community watches closely to see how this bold move will shape the future of the conflict and the geopolitical landscape. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky greeted Trump's policy shift with a mix of surprise and cautious optimism, reflecting the complex emotions running through Kyiv's leadership. The announcement caught many off guard, but Zelensky's response was measured, balancing hope with the realities of war. In a Fox News interview, Zelensky described the change as significant, suggesting it could mark a pivotal turning point in Ukraine's ongoing struggle. He emphasized that any shift in U.S. policy has immediate and profound consequences for Ukraine's fight for survival, and the world is watching closely. After months of strained ties and uncertainty, Zelensky acknowledged that relations with Trump have improved, a stark contrast to the previous anxieties over wavering U.S. support. The renewed dialogue has brought a sense of relief to Ukrainian officials, who have long sought reassurance from their most powerful ally. Trump's robust endorsement of Ukraine's right to reclaim all its territory has sent a powerful message, serving as a much-needed morale boost for both the government and the Ukrainian people. Across Kyiv, there is a cautious sense of hope, with citizens and soldiers alike feeling that international support may finally be turning in their favor. Still, Zelensky remains measured and pragmatic. He knows that strong words and public declarations must be matched by real, tangible military and financial aid. The Ukrainian president is acutely aware that promises alone will not change the situation on the ground, and he continues to press for concrete commitments from Washington. The true test of this new alliance will be whether it delivers the critical support Ukraine needs on the battlefield. For soldiers on the front lines, the difference between rhetoric and reality can mean everything, and the stakes could not be higher as fighting continues in the east. For now, Kyiv signals its readiness to work closely with the Trump administration, hoping that this renewed partnership will help restore Ukraine's sovereignty and bring lasting peace to the region. What drove Trump's dramatic U-turn on Ukraine? Zelensky points to Vladimir Putin's refusal to negotiate and repeated deception as key factors. The Trump administration realized Russia wasn't serious about peace, prompting a shift in strategy. Trump, frustrated by Putin's lies, saw the breakdown of trust as a personal affront, fueling a tougher stance. Trump's public criticism of Russia as a paper tiger at the UN marks a clear change in his view of Moscow's strength. The shift also reflects broader NATO concerns. Trump now supports a more aggressive response to Russian provocations. By aligning with Ukraine, Trump signals to NATO that the U.S. is committed to collective defense. Putin's intransigence and a reassessment of Russian capabilities created the perfect storm for this policy reversal. The newfound warmth between Trump and Zelensky is remarkable given their fraught history. Their relationship was once defined by the infamous 2019 phone call that led to Trump's first impeachment and a tense Oval Office meeting in 2025. That meeting fueled fears that the U.S. would pressure Ukraine into concessions. But at the recent UN General Assembly, Trump publicly praised Zelensky, signaling a new chapter. This shift from confrontation to respect highlights the personal nature of Trump's diplomacy. Zelensky's resilience appears to have earned Trump's respect, paving the way for renewed cooperation. Trump's abrupt policy change on Ukraine drew global attention and mixed reactions. European allies, long anxious about wavering U.S. support, welcomed the clarity but remained skeptical about its durability. EU leaders like Kaja Kallas and Ursula von der Leyen called Trump's statement a strategic advantage, but many diplomats are wary of relying on a single declaration. Some suspect the move is tactical, aimed at pressuring Putin rather than signaling a lasting commitment. Allies are watching for concrete actions, more military aid, tougher sanctions, and sustained coordination. Past disagreements over NATO and trade fuel their caution. The world is hopeful but waiting for proof that America's support is here to stay. For now, Trump's words have brought relief, but skepticism lingers. French President Emmanuel Macron was quick to spotlight Trump's new stance at the UN, welcoming the renewed U.S. commitment to Ukraine. For Europe, American support is essential. Trump's previous talk of land for peace deals had alarmed leaders in Paris, Berlin, and Brussels. Now, Trump's alignment with Europe's core principle, Ukraine's full sovereignty, is seen as a diplomatic win. Still, European capitals remain cautiously optimistic, mindful of Trump's unpredictability and past challenges to NATO. Many suspect this shift could be tactical, designed to pressure Putin or rally domestic support. European leaders are watching for real increases in U.S. aid and long-term strategic planning. Until then, hope is tempered by the knowledge that Europe's security still depends on steadfast American leadership. Despite the recent diplomatic breakthrough, the reality on Ukraine's front lines remains deeply challenging and often heartbreaking. The war has dragged on for years, and every day brings new hardships for soldiers and civilians alike. The landscape is scarred by shell craters and shattered buildings, a stark reminder of the relentless violence that has become a part of daily life. President Zelensky has been unflinchingly honest with his people and the world. Ukraine faces immense challenges, with urgent shortages of ammunition, equipment, and even basic supplies. Morale is tested daily as the country struggles to hold the line against a much larger and better-equipped adversary. Since May 2025, Russian forces have pressed their advantage, making slow but steady gains. Their strategy is one of attrition, grinding down Ukrainian defenses, capturing territory inch by inch, and leaving devastation in their wake. Ukrainian troops are often outmanned and outgunned, especially when it comes to artillery. They are forced to ration precious ammunition, making every shot count while enduring relentless bombardment and constant pressure from advancing Russian units. For every mile lost, the cost is measured not just in territory, but in destroyed homes, shattered communities, and families forced to flee with little more than what they can carry. The human toll is staggering. Trump's recent policy reversal is a pivotal moment. It signals a potential surge in Western support, but for those on the ground, the situation remains unchanged for now. Promises of aid do not immediately translate into relief or safety. Ukraine's very survival depends on a rapid and sustained increase in military aid, especially from the United States and its allies. Every shipment of weapons, ammunition, and supplies can make the difference between holding the line and losing more ground. The stakes could not be higher. Without a significant boost in support, Ukraine's ability to resist and ultimately to win remains in serious jeopardy. The exhaustion on soldiers' faces tells the story of a nation fighting for its very existence. The challenge now is to turn diplomatic promises into real, tangible support on the battlefield, before it's too late for Ukraine's defenders and the people they protect. Trump's support could reshape the war if it leads to real, sustained aid. More weapons and funding would help Ukraine defend its territory and possibly launch counteroffensives. This renewed commitment would boost Ukrainian morale and undermine Russia's strategy of waiting out Western resolve. But challenges remain. The delivery of aid is complex and slow, and any wavering from Trump could undermine confidence. The U.S. defense industry must ramp up production, and delays could mean continued hardship for Ukrainian forces. Still, this moment opens the door to a new phase, one where Ukrainian victory is again possible. A strong Western stance could force Russia to reconsider its goals and bring about a just peace. The coming months will reveal whether Trump's promise becomes reality. Trump's policy reversal on Ukraine is a pivotal moment for global politics. It reasserts American leadership and signals that the U.S. won't tolerate borders being redrawn by force. For NATO, this is a relief. Uncertainty had threatened alliance unity, but a firm U.S. stance strengthens collective defense. The shift sends a message to authoritarian regimes. The West will stand up for sovereignty and international law. By recommitting to Ukraine, the U.S. draws a line against aggression and upholds the principles of the UN Charter. This U-turn replaces doubt with renewed resolve and hope for a free Ukraine. The fight is about more than one nation. It's about defending a world where might doesn't make right.